Wow, look at my friends. They're cool sometimes, I guess. Hello, people on the internet out there. Nyla here, and this is my June bullet journal plan with me. I've never recorded myself doing this before, so please bear with me. My theme this month is inspired by the animated series Gravity Falls. And if you don't know what Gravity Falls is, then I really don't know how to explain it to you. It's on Disney Plus. You could watch it there and find out what it is. It's a pretty good show, not gonna lie, but I just decided to do that as my theme. I originally wanted to do a campsite theme, but I wasn't sure if it was exactly going to work out for the whole entire month. I got the inspiration from one of my friends to do this theme, and they're actually the one who encouraged me to record this and post it online. So if you're that friend and you're watching this, thanks for the anxiety about people on the internet judging me on something that I truly love doing. So my cover page took the longest because it was just a lot of coloring that I'm really not used to doing because I like to keep my theme simple for the most part. I used Crayola Super Tips because who in the bullet journal community doesn't use these amazing things? And I also used a bunch of other pens and things that I'll link below for those who really want to know. So instead of me just blabbering on about random stuff, I'm just gonna let you guys sit here and watch me color this cover page in for a bit. I was wondering if maybe you guys wanted to know more about me, if there's anyone actually watching this video and has questions about who I actually am because you're not like a friend from school that I already know. Leave questions below. Maybe I'll do a Q&A. I don't know. I'm new to this whole thing. Speaking of being new, one more side note, I just wanted to say that this video is a lot nicer than the rest of my videos are going to be in the future if I continue to do this. I got assistance on this video from a good friend, and he has a lot of nice gear for me to use to record this audio, and I accidentally recorded in 4K, which turned out to be a big problem when editing, which he also helped me with, and also with my storage. So there's actually a lot of clips missing from this video. I apologize for that, but you're not missing out on much, honestly. Hopefully I get better at this if I'm gonna even continue to do this. So here, I'm actually taking a paper brown bag that I had from Safeway, and I ripped it up to use it to write my title in. I wasn't exactly sure if I wanted to use craft paper, and then I realized I didn't have any craft paper, so I used a brown paper bag from Safeway to do that right there. And that looks like I'm about done with my cover page. Moving on from that is my monthly tracker. For my monthly tracker, I usually keep it a 2-page monthly spread because I really like the calendar feel. It reminds me of when I used to buy planners before I started bullet journaling, and I also really utilize this page. I like being able to see all of my tasks for the month on one page in a more creative way than just looking at a list. It really gives me a point of view as to when exactly things are going to be occurring. Also, you may notice that I'm actually just freehanding this portion of my bullet journal. There are some times where I freehand it, and there are other times where I use a ruler. It just depends on how I want the page to feel. Because I wanted this page to look like a postcard, as you can see me making the outline of the postcard right here, I wanted to feel more handwritten, therefore I didn't use a ruler. Speaking of the postcard, postcards are relevant to Gravity Falls, so I wanted this page to look like a postcard. I made it a slanted postcard so that the entire page wasn't opening as a postcard, but a postcard was laying on top of the page. Also, I don't know what that is. I really tried to do the squiggly lines, and that's what it looks like. I apologize. So here I start decorating the page, and I start with writing June in what is close to the Gravity Falls font. It's not exact, but it's as close as I could get. I also write greetings from, because on the postcard it would say greetings from Gravity Falls. So after I added some color to this page, I decided to add in some washi tape because some of these corners felt a little bit empty to me, and I feel like washi tape can make or break a page, and in this case it added to the empty space that was there. I also wrote goals on the left hand side because I like to have my goals on my monthly tracker so I can keep track of what I want to accomplish for the month. So if I look back at it, I know what I need to implement into my weekly goals in order to make sure I finish it. After decorating my monthly tracker a little bit more, we are now moving on to my trackers in general. So I think I do my trackers a little different than most people who are known in the bullet journal community. I like having all my trackers on one page, again, a 2-page spread. I don't like flipping around that much when I'm working on my bullet journal, whether that's first thing in the morning or before I go to bed. I like being able to just open one page and fill it all out. So I keep my habit trackers, of course, on one graph. Is it even a graph? I don't know. Anyways, I also like to keep track of how many hours I sleep, what is my overall emotion throughout the day, and how my anxiety was during the day. That one is a line graph. I learned that in school. I know that for sure. I really enjoy tracking all three of these things because I like seeing what their correlation is with one another. Sometimes I notice that if I get enough sleep, I'm not as sad or anxious throughout the day, and sometimes when I get either too little or too much sleep, my mood can change drastically. Other times there's no correlation at all. So I like seeing the difference as to what's going on just in my head mentally sometimes. So as you can see, I wrote trackers again in the Gravity Falls font. And also, I drew a hat. That hat is Dipper Pines. It's not Dipper Pines, it's Dipper Pines' hat. But I personally really like Dipper Pines, and he is one of my favorite characters, so I thought if this is going to be a page I'm going to be looking at a lot, I wanted to make it dedicated to Dipper. I obviously have a couple pages dedicated to several different people. You'll see later on that some footage got cut, and my page dedicated to Mabel is not there. I apologize. There is a page. You can see it in the flip through. It's my positives page. If I ever record another one of these, I'll explain what exactly my positives page is, but for now, to give you a simple definition, it is very similar to what a gratitude page is. So over here on the right hand side, you can see I'm drawing Grunkle Stan. Grunkle Stan, we all know him again. He loves money, and so I'm drawing the iconic Stan bucks because this is going to be where my expense tracker is. Although there is really no point in me drawing an expense tracker because we are still under a shelter in place, and I feel like I'm buying things just because I'm bored and I don't really need any of this stuff. So this actually will fill out very fast, and there might be no reason for me to do it, but drawing the Stan book sign was honestly pretty fun, so I think it was worth it. So here I'm just filling out the last couple of things like my mood and anxiety trackers, and I'm also adding small details. There was some footage lost here because of my storage problems, and we're just gonna skip to what is the final trackers page. Moving on from that, I did make my positives page, which again we lost footage for, so I have absolutely no footage of that. You'll see it at the end. But here I'm drawing what is my brain dump. I usually have a brain dump page where if I have anything to write down, I'll just jot it down there quickly. This came in handy when I was physically still going to campus, but now it's just there for when I need to write a packing list for when I go home, or a grocery list for the next time I go shopping, or really anything that I just need to write down that doesn't specifically have a place in my bullet journal. So on the left side of this 2-page spread, I just wrote the famous what sign from the show because I just thought it fit well with the idea of random stuff that I need to write down. Also, again, an iconic thing that has to do with Gravity Falls. You see a trend? And on the right here, I got inspiration from another one of my friends who also bullet journals. She usually just had a 1-page spread where she wrote down all her due dates for school instead of doing it weekly. So I took the idea and did it in my own journal. I continue to do weekly spreads, but it's also nice to see my overall due dates for the quarter. I just have 2 weeks left in this quarter specifically, so that's what I'm writing here, but I also start summer session this month, and I didn't want to waste a page, so I also added that to the bottom, which is actually what I outlined first in blue. The page is pretty simple. I just divide it by how many classes I am taking, and I divide it by weeks. So on the left hand side are the weeks, and on the top are my classes. For summer session, I have 3, and for spring quarter, where is my mind? For spring quarter, I have 4. Again, 2 weeks left, and the first week of summer started in June, so that's all this page is. Since I'm now filling out what is my summer quarter boxes, I am filling out what week I start. And as you can see here, I turned back to my monthly tracker because I wasn't sure of the exact date, which shows how useful that spread is to me considering I'm not even finished planning and I'm already looking at it. Also, I made a mistake here when I wrote summer quarter. I had already accidentally boxed off that square when I meant to leave it empty. I used white pen to just cover up the lines that didn't mean to be there, and it honestly turned out looking perfectly fine. And here is a look into the classes I took last spring quarter. So that's my personal information right there. Have fun with that. Moving on, I am going to do my last spread of this video, which is my weekly spread. So these are the pages that I use the most, and I just wanted to quickly run through this specifically. Since this quarter was all jumbled up and messy, thanks to COVID, I decided to put my last 2 weeks into a 1-2 page spread. My weekly spreads usually don't look like this at all, but I figured to try something new to see if it works. So on the left side, I drew 4 boxes in order to separate the 4 different classes that I took. And on the bottom, I'm going to make what is a weekly overview where I can write down my weekly events and when things are due. And on the right, I have 2 master to-do lists, one for school and one for personal things. And here I am adding my final touches to my weekly spread, which means I am done with my June plan with me. Here is my final flip through of this month. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed, please like and subscribe. I actually struggled a lot while making this video, but luckily I had the help of a friend whose channel I will link below, and I tried my best, so here you can watch me struggle to close the book. Alright, I'll see you guys soon. Bye bye.